This is LOA Recon with Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we explore the ins and outs of conscious creation to manifest our favorite dreams come true. Let's have some fun together. Welcome and thank you for joining me for another episode. I've been thinking, how hard is it to set the sprinkler on the auto timer? It's pretty easy, right? It's not a big deal. There's a program, you tell it what stations, how long on each one, you set the days and the time you want it to run. It's so easy. Unless you've got a vibe that's tricky. And if that's your vibration, that's what it's gonna be. Because it seems like this should be simple. The technology isn't hard. The method is clear. You don't even need instructions, really. It shouldn't be hard. And yet, because I did it wrong once, and that led to doing it wrong twice, I eventually worked my way to a vibration where this thing isn't reliable. And now that's the vibration that rules. I think what happened was one time the power had gone out and the backup battery didn't work. Another time the clock was wrong, so it started at a time on a day I didn't intend it to. Another time I might have programmed it for B instead of A or vice versa. I don't know. Just weird stuff happening that has led me to believe this is not a reliable way to get water on the yard when you need it. So I don't use it. Or at least I haven't for a couple of years now. You know what? I even had a boyfriend once who gave me, I still actually have it. He gave me, some product so that you could run the sprinklers from your smartphone. But I'm not even messing with that thing. I just think it would be more opportunity for frustration for me. And I don't need any more reasons to rely on my phone than I already have. So for like 2 years now, I've been watering my lawn through the sprinklers manually, meaning I get up or stay up and go flip the dial to run when I want it to start. I mean, I can trust that to work. It's just kind of a hassle because, one, you have to be here to do it, and you have to remember at the right time, yada, yada. But yesterday, when I was thinking about running the water today, I was thinking, man, it'd be nice if I didn't have to wake up early to start it. So I asked my boyfriend, who is almost always a helpful element in getting something to work. A lot of things work when he's on the job that wouldn't work otherwise, especially technology things. So I asked him to watch my work as I programmed those sprinklers because I know better than he does about when to start it, how long it should run. So I know that part, but I figured he knows the programming part. Together, surely we could do this. So there we were, standing like two old people, pushing buttons, staring at the screen. There aren't too many things that make me feel old, but that one did make me giggle at the picture we must have made standing there puzzling over this thing, pushing buttons. Because remember, it's been a couple years since we fiddled with it. And at first he was just watching me do it, but then he eventually took over and we both figured that'd be easier. I thought it'd be even better because then it's mostly him and just a little bit me. Figured that could only be a good thing. So we did that, enjoyed the rest of our night, went to bed. And then in the early morning hours, I've been sleeping downstairs once summer hit because it's cooler down there and there's no clock in that room. I woke up and I did not hear the sprinklers, and it seemed like they should be on by now. Surely it was time. Surely I should be able to hear them from where I'm at and where they should have been running, because I set them for like 5-something and it seemed like it could be about that time. So I went upstairs to investigate, and when he heard me come up, he said, "It's only 3:45. Okay, so I was just being paranoid. I went back to bed and slept the glorious sleep until about 6-something, 6:20, 6:30. Ooh, in fact, I'm just remembering now the very strange dream that I had. Oh my gosh, someone was telling me that it was okay, even though something that did not seem okay was happening. It was, I don't know if I was dying or it felt like something was being stripped away from me. Something not good. I don't remember the exact details, but someone that I trusted, it sure felt like my mom, was telling me that it was okay. And this person was female. She was very confident and compassionate and reassuring and patient with me, and I believed them. I mean, it seemed like they really cared about me and had my best interests at heart, so I figured, okay, it must be okay. This thing that I thought was wrong, it must be okay. Oh my gosh, I wonder if that's like in real life, how it seems like death is the bad thing to be avoided, but it turns out just about everyone who's done it, that I've listened to anyway, who's done it and came back to talk about it, shares how dying is the bomb. Like, it's the most fabulous thing. Well, not necessarily dying, although that's not all that bad. I mean, from what they say it's like going home to our real home, where this life that we thought was so real, that's just the dream. And what's on the other side of this is just the kind of love we couldn't even fathom. Our bodies aren't capable of holding all the love that's possible for us on the other side. Oh my gosh, it sounds amazing. I mean, maybe it's like that. I don't know. Okay, but this episode is not about that dream. This is about how, okay, so I woke up later in the morning after I went back to sleep. It's around 6 something. I still didn't hear sprinklers. I was pretty sure I should be hearing them by now. I kind of knew the time because it was starting to be the kind of light level outside that I knew, okay, this day's starting and I don't hear sprinklers. And this might not seem like a big deal to most of you, but maybe I should stop saying this. It's the height of summer in Utah. I think we're the only state that has a declared statewide drought. I should probably stop repeating that. But getting water on the yard is pretty important to me anyway. It's important to me. I am in process of transitioning the yard into something more water-friendly that doesn't need to be watered twice a week. But here we are today. It's dry. It needs water. And I did not hear sprinklers. So I got up to look. And sure enough, my system wasn't even trying to water. It wasn't even pretending. It wasn't running anything. It was sleeping in, and I wasn't. So I was like, we'll start now then. And I figured I'll just do half now and the other half tonight. And then the most amazing thing happened, which is not what this podcast is about either, but listen to this. After I came back inside, I saw the fox that has been so elusive, the fox that the former owners who lived here for 16 years told me they once saw a quick glimpse of him in the wintertime. Years ago, they saw him once in 16 years. This is the fox that another neighbor got video of on his phone once 2 years ago. This is also the fox that the oldest, longest term resident, but also the oldest neighbor who died actually a couple years ago. She had put out illegal traps for this fox, a fox behind her barn. This is the same fox, I think, that a different neighbor saw on her security camera after I told her 2 of my chickens went missing a couple weeks ago. But I saw the fox I've been wanting to see forever. I saw it myself. I was standing at the bedroom window after I started the sprinklers. I was standing at the window and I was admiring how well everything is doing out in that north pasture. I was thinking about how maybe I should move that sumac bush this fall. I don't like to move things that are doing well, but I probably should move that. And lo and behold, while I was standing there just loving how pretty everything was in the early morning, guess who came loping into view from the neighbor's yard? It was the fox. That fox was, running isn't the right word. She was loping. That's the perfect word for what she was doing. She was crossing through the neighbor's side yard, headed southeast, and I watched her as long as I could. Then I ran to another window to keep watching her because I've been wanting to see her for so long. I'm so excited. I saw the fox, not on someone's phone, not on someone else's security camera, with my own eyes. I saw the fox. Oh, I really like that. Except that she didn't have anything for her babies to eat. She didn't seem to be carrying anything back to her litter. And I felt a little guilty for warning all the neighbors who have chickens that there's a fox predating. I think that's the word. There's a fox taking loose chickens, FYI. So everyone's been keeping their chickens locked up later in the morning. We used to all let them out at daybreak or shortly after, like when the chickens want to go out. But after I lost 2 in a row, actually, after my first one, we changed the auto door. Okay, it was Chad who changed the timing of the auto door because I'm not messing with that thing. It's chickens' lives literally at stake that opens and closes when it's supposed to. Anyway, we set it for like an hour and a half later, and the fox, the second day, she just got a later breakfast the second day. She waited. She was patient. So after losing the second one, we set it for 2.5 hours later. And by that time, I'm already up and walking around the yard with dogs so I can open the door myself. Oh, plus, I've been sending Winston out, my Great Pyrenees, early in the morning to go do his job that he was bred for and that he really wants to do, which is patrol the property to keep the livestock safe and also maybe look for leftovers from construction workers that they might have not thrown away properly. But I felt a little guilty that the fox didn't have anything to take back to her babies. The point is, I got to see the fox. There's still a fox up here with all this development, with who knows how many crazy neighbors putting out illegal, lethal traps, and knowing how elusive fox can be to spot. I saw the fox. So satisfying. Okay, here's why I'm telling you this. Because when Chad got up in the morning, the first thing I told him was, we didn't set the sprinklers right. And by we, I meant he, because we both know that he was supposed to be the adult in the room. We were counting on him to get it right, and it did not work, so I was putting it on him. And that guy accepted responsibility, even though I knew better. I knew that the reason, and you probably know too, the reason those sprinklers didn't work this morning is because of my vibration, because I don't trust the auto sprinklers. So how could they work when what I've mostly practiced? Look, I don't think about this auto sprinklers every day, but on the days that I do, I mostly think about how they are not to be trusted. It never goes like you want. How could they work in the face of that expectation from me? They can't, not even when I put my Lucky Charm guy on it. So it was kind of rude of me to blame it on him when it was me. It was my vibration. And the muggle that he is, he didn't call me on that. Or maybe he did know, but he was just too polite to say it out loud that it was my vibration that the universe was answering. Sometimes, I was going to say being married to a muggle. I'm not married, but we may as well be. Sometimes it has its advantages. Okay. But when he was accepting responsibility for it, I then said, well, sweetheart, it's my vibration. That's why it didn't work. My vibe is set to, they don't work. So it doesn't matter what the program says, how right we think we got it. My vibe is going to trump every action we take. No matter how many T's we cross or I's we dot, the vibration is going to rule. And apparently, putting him on it wasn't enough to overcome the momentum that I had built up on this thing doesn't work right. Can't trust it. Don't rely on it. There is one thing that's working, though, that's worth taking a moment to revel in, even if it's just for my sake, and that's that there was a sprinkler head that wasn't working right. And he had knee surgery 2 weeks ago, so kneeling down is not his joy to fix sprinkler heads. So he supervised me fixing this sprinkler head, and it works now. Although I don't think I really truly get credit because at one point he did actually kneel down as best he could to do the thing he was telling me to do that he thought I wasn't doing right. So maybe he fixed it. But either way, the sprinkler head is working again. Woohoo, we could revel in that win. But here's where I'm going with this. I know that's the second time I've threatened to make my point, but I really am this time. You may have an auto sprinkler issue too, somewhere in your life. It might not be your sprinklers, it might be your money, or your body, or your job, or your relationships, or something that matters to you that you can't seem to get right because you've practiced yourself into a place of negative expectation. And no matter what you do, no matter what actions you take, it doesn't change because the vibe always rules. That's the title of this episode, isn't it? I was wondering. Anyway, maybe you also have tried to get someone else to fix it for you, but it can't fix when your vibe is set to problem. No matter how logical your action is, no matter how much it seems like this should work, no matter how many other people it has worked for, it can't ever override your contrary vibrational instruction. So, what's a smart creator to do? Well, we got to do the work that works. That's get the vibe right. We could relax about it. We could enjoy the beauty of the morning, even though you said you didn't want to get up early. And lo and behold, there's something to appreciate. There's something else to be excited about. I saw the fox. And maybe we don't make a big deal about what went wrong, and maybe that gives us access to some new thoughts, which a smart person would start practicing those, meaning just repeat the helpful ones in place of the old ones. And that's when we get access to a different reality. And maybe the next time when you're setting the sprinkler or whatever your version of it is, you could make a point of practicing a new vibe. Maybe review reasons to believe, or maybe pre-experience a successful run, or maybe practice saying what you'll say when it works, the way you want it to. Or maybe just enjoy for the sake of enjoying instead of trying to make something happen so then you can enjoy. Ooh, there was a lot in that. I hope you got that. But also, another point in this story that could be helpful to spot, so let's not miss it, is that even when chickens go missing, that might be okay because foxes need to eat too. Someone's got fox babies. And maybe death isn't the big deal I always thought it was. That's what my mom was trying to tell me in that dream, I'm pretty sure. Speaking of dreams, you know what? I had another dream the night before that. it was that there was a spider in my bed. Actually, it was running. And I suspect the reason I had that dream was because the night before that, I went to sleep with a very big spider on the wall next to me. And I was a little nervous of her because she was big and she was on a wall pretty close to me. This is real life, remember? This is what I think inspired the next night's dream. But as I'm looking at her, I'm pretty sure she doesn't want anything from me. So if I could just let her live her life in peace, wouldn't that be fine? Like, couldn't we just live and let live? I mean, she just wants the corners and maybe that floor part right there against the wall. She doesn't want a lot of space. That's pretty much, I bet, where she wants to hang out. And I'm not doing anything there in that space. I don't need it. So I figured we could coexist pretty easily if I could just get over myself. And she's probably, let's be real, probably been here every night anyway, all along. This is probably just the first time I'm seeing her. So relax about it, Jeanette. I suggested to her, I did talk to her. I said, hey, how about if you just be in your space and I'll be in mine and we could live together peacefully? Which is kind of what all of us are doing in our lifetimes anyway with each other, right? Learning how to let them have what they want and we have what we want, so we don't have to be rude to each other about it. Okay, so I went to sleep with that giant spider on that wall instead of waking up and getting the critter catcher to relocate her outside, which is what I used to do. But now I'm learning to be cool, even with the big ones, apparently. I did it, except I did have a dream the next night where this was a different spider in my dream. It wasn't her. This was a smaller one. It was not a small spider. It was more like a medium-sized spider that ran across my bed. Oh my gosh, I yelled and jumped up and I flipped the light on in real life. I yelled, I jumped up, woke up Harvey and Merlin. I flipped the light on. And it took me a minute to realize that it had to be a dream because how could I have seen a spider in the dark? I couldn't have. And in the dream, I saw it clearly. It wasn't that I felt it. It was that I saw it. And it's totally dark in that room. That's my good sleeping protocol, total darkness. I could not have seen her. Plus, what I had seen was the spider was running across, the covers had been flipped up. And I had covers on me. So it had to be a dream. It couldn't be real, right? It was just a very realistic, intense dream. And sometimes, y'all, it's worth remembering that that's what we're in right now. A very realistic, intense dream. And we did that by design. We wanted this to feel real, but it really is just a dream. This isn't who we really are. Who we really are is way, way, way more than this. We're living the dream right now. It's not worth getting upset over. It's not as real as we think it is. It's just a dream. So let's enjoy it instead of sweat it, right? No need to scream and jump for the lights or scream and jump for the lights, but go ahead and laugh about it afterwards. It's just a dream. Maybe another point in this story is to realize that my resistance to waking up to turn sprinklers on had me still waking up to turn sprinklers on. Oh my gosh, when am I going to learn that what we resist persists? Let it be okay to wake up early. Because look what that led to. I saw the fox. That means now I have seen the fox, I have seen the moose, and I keep seeing 2 skunks that I'm just about ready to name because they are such regulars here. Don't tell anyone, please. This is one reason why I love podcasting at GVU even more than here, because I can share things that should not be available to the general public. But there was one resident in a neighboring town who lives next to a friend of mine who was going to drown the skunk that he trapped under his porch, and she called me to intervene. So I picked up that skunk and I brought him or her to live under my porch, my chicken coop porch, and I thought he or she would move on, but so far they're still here. And then there was a baby skunk that a neighbor spotted trapped in a water meter hole just up the road from us that Chad rescued out of the hole, and I brought that little skunky back to my outdoor chicken coop to make sure he was healthy enough to release. And oh yeah, he or she was healthy enough, but they were so little they walked right through the 2-inch fence. But guess what? He still lives here too. He comes out every night. Oh, sometimes I sit in my chicken coop. It's actually it's a shed, but it's my chicken coop. Sometimes I sit in the doorway to watch them with my own eyes. As much as I can see at dusk, I just sit there super quiet. I don't move. And pretty soon they all come out. Like the skunks come out, the raccoons come out. Oh, it's so, so, so cool. The deer, I've seen the deer. The deer has not approached me while I've been sitting there, but man, I love this so much. Harmony in nature. It's so fun to see everyone getting along, eating together, drinking together. Harmony in nature. I know foxes eat chickens, and I'm keeping mine locked up until late morning unless I'm out to supervise earlier, but I still like it because I had a dream once that it's okay to die. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, the moral of this story is Let's stop thinking that action can overcome our bad vibrations. It can't. The vibration always rules. Let's also stop thinking, when I say let's, I don't ever think this, but I know sometimes people do. Sometimes my clients, sometimes readers write me thinking law of attraction doesn't work for them when all it ever does is work for us perfectly every time. And also, let's stop thinking that you can't change your mind because you can. I changed my mind about how much I didn't like that ornery old woman who set leg-hold traps for foxes that not only could a fox step in who could be someone's mother, but also someone's dog could step in them, someone's kid, someone's cat. Come on, not cool. Anyway, after I lost 2 chickens, I thought, if I were someone who didn't care about the lives of others, and I knew there was a wily and patient fox taking out my flock, and if I had grown up in the harsh world, for a little perspective, she was in a wheelchair after having both her legs amputated due to diabetes, and she raised a bunch of kids. I don't know how many of those she had to raise on her own. Her husband had died many, many, many years ago. Anyway, considering where she was coming from, and considering that this stuff meant different things to her than it did to me, I can see how someone might get mad enough to put a trap out. I'm glad that's not me who responds that way, but I also respect that she sees it differently, and she came to different conclusions than I did. And look at me, right there, just dropping a little resistance to someone who does it different and wants it different than I do. Living in harmony, not just with animals, but with the people too. Man, I'm getting to be a rock star at this. You are too, right? We're getting better at it every day. I hope you join me in that thought. And oh my gosh, you are not going to believe the miracle that happened while I was putting these notes together for this episode. Right as I was wrapping up, before my very eyes, I saw a couple of turkey hens. It looked like 3 or 4 turkey hens and a whole bunch of turkey babies cross the road. We haven't seen the babies in a very long time. Well, actually, we've been seeing like 3 of them. There were only 3 babies left out of the 13 or 14 we originally saw this season. And I was thinking, wow, the fox must be getting them, which made me kind of sad, but also kind of happy that the fox mama is finding stuff to eat for her and her babies. But no, the turkey babies are alive. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to tell my neighbor. She's going to be even happier than I am about this because those turkeys basically live in her backyard on her property and she's very protective of them. So super fabulous to see them all thriving after we thought they'd been lost. Feels kind of like a miracle. You know when you give up on something that you were feeling kind of desperate for, you just make a little peace with it and then a miracle can unfold. Strength of desire with a little opening for universe to deliver, that's all it takes. Miracles abound when we have the eyes to see them, y'all. When we're not grumbling about having to wake up early because the stupid sprinkler didn't work, or woe is me, I lost 2 chickens, or that fox is eating all the babies in the neighborhood, or whatever routine locks us out of the magic and miracles happening every day right in front of us. If only we had the eyes to see. Wow, you've got the eyes to see too, right? It's so beautiful out here. In fact, if you want video of my fox or my skunks or my raccoons, email me. I will happily share. And I would love to see or hear what's lighting you up lately, too. What are the gifts in your world that you're seeing? All right, I hope you got some inspiration from this episode. Thanks for listening, everyone, and happy manifesting.